this publication in the JSSC by the Blotnick group, which was really exciting for me and totally surprising. I asked, this is the research you have behind the product? Yes, this, of course, we were totally excited about that, so that there is a nutritional product out there in the food supplement segment who can provide such high level of research. So it was no doubt for us that this is not just an ordinary product among 1,000 others. This is a special one. So what we did, we started with a tiny pre-investigational study on bikers and a mini project. We had a boring summer at this time, so we had some time left to do additional things. And we investigated whether redox markers like lipid oxidation or damage to lipids and proteins could be reduced. And the results were much better than we expected.
You said bikers, you mean cyclists? Just so
Yeah,
I'm not talking about a motorcycle.
No. I'm sorry.
Cyclists, right?
Cyclists, mountain bikers.
Not bikers, exactly.
And
We
it
could
was,
probably do a study on motorcycle day.
yeah, I mean, we could do it perhaps. Let me involve.
Yeah, let's work on it.
And as I said, this was a mini cohort of not just 6 subjects, but the results were so impressive that we wanted to publish that. And in some way, don't ask me exactly how, but in some way, my precursor in the role as a research director at this time, Dr. Anita Bodhi, heard from our intentions, and she contacted me and we discussed this, and I learned at this time that publishing a study with just 6 subjects does not match the demand and the standard of the Juice Plus research program already at that time in 2004 or so. Accidentally, at this time, I had access to a very, very interesting cohort with a certain stress profile, sporty, a special anti-terrorism force called COBRA unit. And many people of you might know then the COBRA study. So this was the birth of the COBRA study. So we conducted this COBRA study, published 2 papers on the COBRA study, and after that, Anita but also, for example, John Blair, we set up an excellent relationship and communication. And in 2011 then, I conducted a second study because I had again access to an interesting cohort of strong-minded but overweight and obese women. Therefore, we call it the Strong Women Study. And yeah, because they were fantastic. They adhered to the study protocol, and so therefore also my main reason why this study also became a success then. And then it came to the point now how I came to the company now as in this role. It was in March 2013. Your precursor, Gary Giles, and John Blair, they called me and asked me whether I'd like to fly over from Europe. They would like to have an intensive discussion, strategy discussion with me. And I said, of course, I like you. I'm always happy to see you. But give me some deeper insight, what you're willing to discuss with me so that I take this 20 hours trip. And then they said they want to ask me whether I could imagine to become a research director and to lead this program. And interestingly, I responded immediately, yes, this is of interest. Although this meant for me a big change in decision for my professional career. I was more than 20 years in an academic setting at universities, and moving to industries is, let's say, a step it takes some time to think about, but it didn't take me very long to think about. And now I'm here 4 years later. I started with May 1st, 2013, and I do not regret any minute.
I would say probably one of the best phone calls we ever made. Thank you, John. Exactly, and since 2013, you've done some amazing things for us, and the Newcastle study that the video showcased was the first that you started from scratch, and it was so clear all the way along how passionate and convicted you were about not just that study, but the body and what was to come in the future. And in working with you and in hearing from you what it was like to work with principal investigators who were actually conducting the research, you often shared that they were also very passionate and very convicted about their work. And that in particular, the principal investigator for Newcastle had high anticipation for the results and was super excited about where we could get the trial published. So tell us a bit about what it was like to work with Dr. Lisa Wood from Newcastle.
Yeah, there's also perhaps a short, interesting story for the beginning of this relationship. I remember my first conference call on duty, May 1st, 2013, was with Dr. Lisa Wood in Australia. And from the first minute, I could feel that she was an enthusiast and she knew a lot about the Juice Plus research already, which was in some way unusual. So we had from the very beginning a very good relationship and a very good feeling, because it's very important not to just build up a research contract agreement that somebody studies the product. You need a relationship, you need a good communication wire between, you need to work with people that are open-minded, that you have chances to negotiate the study protocols. And she was such a person, and so we highly respect each other.
I remember you talking so much about her, and we had the idea of maybe capturing her on video to see how she thought about the study that she got published for us, and we have it here for you to see today. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Wood, and I'm Professor of Biomedical Science from the University of Newcastle, Australia. Obesity has become a worldwide epidemic, and this is a real problem because obesity leads to an increased risk of developing diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and some cancers. The reason this occurs is because obesity causes inflammation. And inflammation is the way that fat tissue releases chemicals into the bloodstream, which then can reach organs such as the heart and cause damage. So we've recently completed a trial where we supplemented 61 obese people with Juice Plus. After just 8 weeks, we found that there was a reduction in inflammation in these people, as well as a reduction in cholesterol levels. One of the most interesting aspects of this trial was the mechanism by which this occurred. We found that using Juice Plus altered the expression of the genes that control inflammation and the production of cholesterol. So this is really quite intriguing. Juice Plus was able to alter the expression of genes that are controlling metabolic health. Based on these results, we can say that using Juice Plus is an effective strategy in obese people for reducing inflammation and also for reducing cholesterol levels.